So this video is going to be about things that I didn't expect or didn't know walking into my current job. So if you don't know, I'm a paraprofessional, meaning I'm basically a teacher's assistant. Basically, my job description is what a teacher does minus the paperwork because I don't have the degree for it. So that's the best that I can put it. And I know like some people are probably going to watch this and be like, paras do not do the teacher's job. And I want to be the one to let you know, yes, we do. We definitely do it. Every para you meet is going to tell you that they definitely do a little bit more than their job responsibility. And it's not an issue because I love my job. So whatever. So in my classroom, all of my kids have autism. And we're in a self-contained classroom. There's 10 kids, but we have 6 in person and then 4 are virtual because of COVID. There's 3 paras in the classroom, and then there's 1 lead teacher. So it's really good dynamic. It's a really, really good dynamic. When it never really feels like we're short-staffed unless like it's just like a bad day. Bad day meaning like nothing we planned to go right is going right. Like nothing with the kids and stuff. But for one, the top thing I would say is the emotional attachment. I remember this is my second year at the school, it's elementary school. And I remember, I think after the first week, I was like, first of all, my mother was a life skills teacher. So I grew up kind of with kids on the spectrum, like seeing how they were and stuff. But I guess I had never personally just done a job with AU kids. So it was a very, very new learning experience. And I didn't know all of the things that could possibly come along with it. So after the first week, I remember telling my coworker, I can't do this. Like, I gotta quit. Oh my gosh. Like, it was very, very overwhelming for me. But I think once that second week hit, I was like, okay, I'm in there. Like, so the emotional attachment, like I would call my mom crying sometimes. I remember just the kids just love you so much. And so when they hurt you, you really hurt. Like, you know, it's probably with everyone in the education system, but it just, wow, the bond that you create with these kids. And even now, you know, like I said, it's my second year, the bonds I have with the parents, like I have one parent that I've sat on the phone with for hours. You know, I have parents who will drop their kid over at my house, you know, on the weekend or stuff. My students ask to spend the night. Like, the bond, it's like family, and I feel like it's so unconventional. But I think because we are in a self-contained, classroom, meaning, you know, the kids aren't going out for block. They're pretty much doing everything in their classroom except for when we go outside or we're going to the gym or field trips and stuff. So, you know, we have no choice but to create these bonds. But I think, like, I did not expect, I was out on, Monday was Martin Luther King Day, and Tuesday I was out because I wasn't feeling well. And my coworker called me because one of my students was having a meltdown. Like, he was just crying and crying because, you know, where's Miss Nunn? Where's Miss Nunn? And I got him on the phone. I'm like, oh, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm so sorry. Like, and when I came back, he just hugged me and he was so happy. Like, those things really just, oh, I love it. Like, people don't understand. Like, parents will call sometimes late at night or on the weekends, and they're just like, "I'm so sorry, Miss Nunn," and I'm like, I don't think anybody understands. Like, it does not bother me. I love these kids. Like, I couldn't imagine. It's like all of us in that classroom love those kids, and so it's like, it's so funny because it's like if I hear or see someone saying anything mean to my kids, about my kids, or just AU kids in general, I'm like, no, like ready to go to blows. Like, it's so wild. These kids have opened my eyes to just so much, and they've also made me so much of a better woman. Like, I remember when I first started working there, I was, you know, fresh out the military. I was really sad. I was very angry. And I remember one day I was in a situation that just was, I was in a bad situation. Basically, whatever. I was in a bad situation. And I remember thinking, like, I teach my kids when you're angry, when you're upset, You don't resort to violence. You don't scream. You don't shout. You communicate, you know? So for me, it was really a self-reflection moment because I'm like, I'm telling these kids to do X, Y, and Z, but I'm not following my own advice. So that was a very big wake-up call for me in the sense of me growing up. Like, I have kids watching me, you know? And a lot of times they ask me, Miss Nunn, are you happy? Miss Nunn, what are you doing? Miss Nunn, are you okay? Are you this? Are you that? And it's like, you know, whether you're okay or not, you have to be okay because these kids look at you, they love you, it's so crazy. Like, I don't have any kids of my own, but it's like, I guess I understand how parents feel. Like, you know, kids just love you unconditionally. Like, even when I raise my voice at them, they're still like, whatever, Miss Nunn, I still love you. So it's like, okay. I don't know. The emotions and the bonds that you create with kids. And I also think because it is a self-contained classroom, you know, I'm seeing the same kids. I'm not getting different kids. I've had the same exact 10 kids last year as I have this year that I'm probably going to have next year. So you really, 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 really get to know people and build bonds and stuff. And it's so amazing. Another thing I didn't expect was I understand people say do not bring your work home. Like, if I'm worried about something, I'm worried all day. If I'm thinking about something, it's all day. Like, I bring it home. Like, I dream about my job. It's annoying, actually, but it's really funny because some of the stuff that happens in the dreams are just like, ugh, like it's actually how the kid would do it. So it's really funny to me. Breaks and holidays. Winter break was so hard for me. The first school year, I cried. Like, I sat in my bed and I'm like, oh, I miss such and such. I miss such and such. Oh my God, when do we go back? Like, it was crazy. I don't know. And so when COVID hit, oh my goodness. I remember we got out, I think, one day early for spring break because of COVID. And then once spring break was over, they were just like, you know, you're not going back. So the school year just ended abruptly. And it was like, huh? Like, we had just got, they had just sent in a touchscreen computer for our nonverbal kids. So we were so excited to use all of that stuff. And so it ended and it was sad. It was so horrible. I missed my kids so much. Like, and then, you know, we came back and we were virtual. So seeing the kids online, it's like, yay, I'm excited to see you. But it's like, can we go back to school? And so, you know, now we're back in and, you know, 6 kids are there. But we sent home homework packets and we had them bring them back, I think, Thursday and Friday. So one of my students that's virtual, his sister dropped his packet off and I was like, oh, it's such and such in the back seat. And so I seen him and I ran to the back on the other side and she rolled the window down and he was like, Miss Nunn, and he put his hand all out and he grabbed my hand and I could really cry, y'all. Like, y'all ain't gonna ever see me cry on camera. I'm gonna say that now. If I cry, I'm gonna step to the side. But like, it made me so happy. Like, he just says, Miss Nunn, I miss you. And I'm like, oh, I miss you too. Like, man, the breaks are hard. They really are. When you really care about your job and you care about you know, there's lots of educators who are just like, whatever. But there's a lot who genuinely love their job and it's a passion. It really, really is. Like, this job, like, it gave me a whole new outlook on life, and I really didn't expect it. I was working at a retirement home, and the principal called me because my sister's a teacher, and so is my mother, and so I was like, let me try to get into the school district. And so I applied at a few school districts. I just was applying, like, click apply, click apply, click apply. And so I think maybe 2 months later, I was at the retirement home and I was on like a break or something. And I got a phone call and she's like, hi, this is Mrs. Such and Such, principal at such and such elementary school. And I was like, and she told me of 2 positions and I picked the one that I'm currently at. And it's just so crazy. Like, in that moment, I didn't expect for it to be the way that it is, if that makes sense. Like, I'm one of those people, if I don't like a job, I leave. So this is probably, outside of the military, this is probably the longest job that I've ever had. And I plan on being there next school year. Like, I love my job. I really, really do. So yeah, I don't know. The hiring process was very easy. I didn't expect that either, excuse me. So basically, like I said, I'm a para. So what they do is I talk like that. I'm talking to you guys like you guys are sitting here talking like here. So sorry. I talk with my hands. I'm very animated when I talk, but I try to tone it down for YouTube. But I don't think I do a very good job, so whatever. But yeah, the hiring process was extremely easy. I was so shocked. So basically, you know, she told me to come in for an interview. I came in for the interview. She, you know, interviewed, asked me if I had any questions, gave her my questions or whatever. And she told me, you know, she would be in touch with me. I got hired. I had to go to HR. I had to take a test. It was like a packet, basically to make sure that I was functioning on a high enough level. I think they give you maybe like 2 or 3 hours to take the test, or maybe it's not. I think it's timed. If you're not very strong in education, I wouldn't suggest trying to become a para, because you're not just going to sit down. Like, you're actively going to be up, like, not necessarily teaching, but teaching. You're going to be going over work. You're going to be going over homework. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot, and you're going to have to know stuff. So you have to really be like on your P's and Q's with these type of jobs. But yeah, so I went and I had to do a background check. I got fingerprinted. The school district paid for that. So that was cool, because I think it was like $64 or like $54 or something. So I'm like, at first I was like, why do I have to pay when I'm trying to come work for you all and you hired me, you know? But then they're like, oh, no, we pay. So I was like, oh, okay, because it just was weird to me. I don't know. But all in all, the hiring process between the being told, okay, you're hired, and actually getting into the system was probably less than 2 weeks. Like, I had went out of town, and so I messed up my scheduling and stuff. So I didn't get to start on the first day of school like I had wanted to. I think I was like a few days late last school year. So whatever. But yeah, it was pretty easy. My perspective really changed. Like, I have a lot more respect for my mother, you know, parents in general, especially single moms who are in the education system, and you know, you go through a lot during the day, and then you come home and you have to deal with kids. It's like, I don't have kids, and I come home and my cats stress me out. So I can only imagine, you know, parents, like, especially educators who have, you know, more difficult kids or something like that, to come home and then, and I was a bad kid. Like, you know, I was that kid. And when I, you know, I'm in Texas or whatever, so I went to school in A-Leaf, and I was in ALC, I was in Crossroads. Like, I was that bad kid. And my mom was teaching in Third Ward, I want to say, at that time. So, like, you know, she's already in a rough area and dealing with the fights almost every day at the school she was at the time. And so to come home or be getting a call from my school, hey, you know, Ajane got in a fight, she's suspended. Ajane this, she's suspended. Especially my senior year, I know I definitely stressed my mom out. Because I went to Westbury High School. It's an HISD, and I didn't like that school. The year I was there, I think our principal got fired for having the teachers like 400 grades or something. Like, I was a horrible senior year. I don't even, if you guys want a video about my senior year, I'll definitely give you guys a video, because I hated that school. Like, I started in like February. My senior year of high school actually was very, 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 very wild. So if you guys want a story time, I actually can do a story time for you guys. So let me know. Moving on, because I'm getting sidetracked. Self-control. I learned more self-control. The military has resiliency training, but I would tell them, go in an elementary school and deal with those kids for a week, and your resiliency is going to be up there. Guiding a child. I had a conversation with one of my supervisors for after school program, and she was telling me about a student that she's had, I think, since he might have been in like 3rd grade, and he's like 21 now, or he's 20 now maybe. And I remember my 3rd grade teacher. I remember my 4th grade teacher. I remember my 5th grade teacher. I remember the one teacher at Westbury that I actually really liked. Like, kids really do remember you. Like, if you make an impact, you can really help guide these kids. Like, these kids are really our future, and it's just, you have to guide these kids, because they do listen. You have to get through and connect with that kid. You know, each kid isn't the same. So how I interact with Henry is not how I can interact with Bobby, or how I interact with Sarah is not how I can interact with Emily. Like, it's really different. So once you find your niche, however you say it, with that kid, it's up from there. It's really a good feeling to see kids grow. I know my teachers, when I still talk to them, they're like, what? I remember last year I actually went back to Crossroads to see my old principal and teachers, and I was like, yeah, you know, I work for such and such, and they're like, what? A school? Because who would have thought, honestly, like, honestly. And the last thing that I did not expect is the bond that I have with my coworker, Jazz. Like, that's probably the only name drop you guys will ever hear me do, but she's actually coming over later. Saya's gonna retwist her daughter's hair and cut her son's hair. If you're in Houston and you or your child needs a cut, let me know. I'm gonna link Saya's Instagram below as well. But she's literally like, I can't say a mother. She's very maternal, but our relationship is more sisterly. Like, she's like that sister that's like a mom, if that makes sense. You know, she's older than me. She has 2 kids. She has a husband. Like, she's an amazing woman, and she's such a giver. She's such a giver. And, you know, there's plenty of days that I've cried on her shoulder, and just, like, it goes beyond the scope of work. You know, you go to work because it's a job. You know, you're not there to make friends. But even her daughter, they were here last weekend, and we watched WandaVision, and I heard her daughter say, Miss Nunn is like family. And that really warmed my heart, because I'm not very close with a lot of my family. So, like I said, I think in my last video, you kind of can pick your family sometimes. And so it made me happy. Like, it made me really, really happy. I be getting emotional, but I thank God every day for her, honestly, because things that I don't know or have questions about, I can call her anytime, any day, anytime, you know, and she's right there, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, to help me and guide me. So I love her. Like, this job really, really it really changed my life. It really, really did. I'm not about to be on here giving like a testimonial and stuff, but this job really, I wouldn't say, I mean, I guess not wouldn't say, but I'm not going to say like it saved me or anything, but this job really, it really refocused me and realigned me. So it's just, you know, you can breathe easier when you know that you're doing right and things are actually progressing. And just, I don't even know. I feel like I got so sidetracked in this video. Like, I don't know. I don't know. But that was the last thing. So this video is done, and I'm probably not gonna edit it too much, because when I overly edit like my makeup videos, I think that's why I get frustrated, because it's just like I'm not really interacting, I'm not really talking, and then I don't even know how to put the music on top of the video, so you guys get those little simple instrumentals, and it kills me. I promise y'all, it kills me. I don't like it. I know y'all probably don't like it. I'm about to start researching how to do it, because I've been seeing some stuff in my favorite YouTubers videos, so I'm gonna see. I don't know, but yeah, this year is going up bigger and better and brighter, and I hope everybody has a great year. I hope that if you're at a job you love, that it stays and remains amazing. If you're starting a new job, I hope it becomes amazing. And I hope that everybody gets all the peace and love that they need, because the world is crazy right now. It's a lot of hate, you know, but let's give a little love, a lot of love. And don't forget that we matter. I guess I should have did we matter. It was an ugly wink, y'all. So yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much for continuously supporting me. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, phone a friend, tag a friend, call a friend, text a friend.